a hobo.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? And you're welcome. Welcome back to Two Beers and a Whiskey, our topical podcast where we discuss whatever the fuck we want to talk about. We got a good show for you because we haven't recorded in almost a month because of this sack of shit.
My bad.
Well, tell the audience why they haven't gotten a new episode of Two Beers and a Whiskey.
Because I have a job and had to work, so, you know...
So you're putting yourself before them.
Yeah, you know,
essentially what I'm doing.
Yeah, essentially I put myself before our fucking fans, so fuck all of you. I had to work. The real gig.
Work.
Yeah, work.
That's what we call it in business.
Do you wear shorts while you work?
I do.
Then it ain't work.
I wear basketball shorts all the time. It's great.
You wear shorts too. Exposed. Exposed.
Except you don't wear shorts.
What are we drinking today, Pedro?
Don't change the subject. We are drinking Irish Red.
Sam Adams Irish Red.
Sam Adams Irish Red.
It's got a griffin on the front of it.
Yes, a pretty badass griffin.
I like
So let's
that.
pop these bad boys open and give a nice little review for the people.
How come the Irish get all the cool stuff?
Because we're fucking
How come
awesome.
I don't get Puerto Rican red? Like, where's that at?
Because you're already kind of red.
Do Puerto Ricans get beer?
Did I just hand that to you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just thought that was an observation I'd point out.
Do you drink beer in Puerto Rico?
I've never been to Puerto Rico.
You're a fake Puerto Rican.
I'm an American, sir.
Indeed you are, Pedro. Indeed you are.
I've been drinking a lot this past week.
Oh, yeah, what's that? Oh, mother.
Well, Pedro,
Look at he's wasting it. He's
we come here to record
we
a
need to start having.
show.
I feel like this happens all the time with him. We need to start having a punishment when you spill, like dropping a weapon at the dojo.
Yeah.
You spill the beer, you lick it off the table.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Who knows the last time this table's been wiped down? There's probably semen and all kinds of body fluids. Oh,
Why
I
would
gotta use
semen? You sure this doesn't have semen on it?
I'm
by
not
the
sure.
computer.
I'm not sure.
I put it there. Watson has this thing where he leaves his like dirty tissues and napkins.
No, wait, don't. I put them in a box.
That was yours, sir.
That was from the popcorn.
So
Why was it
this
just
is a happy tissue or
No, it's not. It's from popcorn.
Who knows?
I know. It's
right by the computer.
you legitimately just saw me eating popcorn.
I know, but I didn't
You're
see
like,
the
you can't eat that popcorn on the show. Popcorn Nazis.
I've jerked off in front of this computer before.
I bet you have.
I've watched.
Because like you put the volume on low, make sure no one's looking.
No, so Watson would be at work. I would have a couple hours because we used to work different. I used to work a couple hours later than Watson. He would leave and lock the doors. And then one time, his sister walked in without saying anything.
Outstanding.
Not while I was doing it.
You had just finished it.
No. But like one time she just did it where she just walked in, and I was like, well, I can't do this anymore.
Scared
So
it out
from that day
That would have
forward.
been so funny.
So let me ask you this though: when you're all by yourself in the house, full volume or no volume?
I wear headphones all the time. When I'm
That's
watching.
bad news.
That is
Bears,
bad. That
man.
is bad.
Well, like no one's gonna. Well, because now I'm in my room. No one's gonna knock or just open the door without knocking.
How do you know that?
I don't know that, but I would hope so.
All right. This brings me to the first topic I had. I'm going to cut you off there. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, speaking of masturbation.
Last week. Jerking off.
Yeah, the proper stance. The men's preferred jerk-off stance.
Okay.
How do you jerk off, Pedro?
Probably in bed,
Laying down?
laying down.
Thank you.
I sit up
You're
to jerk
a
off.
fucking freak. He's sitting... I walk up into his bedroom, and he's sitting on the end of his bed getting ready. We were going somewhere.
Jerking off?
No.
Oh, we're
it's
going
not
to
jerking off.
pick Robert up
Yeah.
to go hang out with him up
Yeah.
in
the
Lewisburg. And
Yeah.
he's sitting at the end of his bed putting his socks on or something. He's like, I'll tell you what, Watson. He's like, it's nice having this air conditioning unit by my bed, but he's like, when I sit at the end of my bed and masturbate, he's like, it's like masturbating in a tundra. And I
Because
looked
the
at him.
air conditioner is right there at the end of my bed.
Yeah.
And it blows. And so I have to turn the air conditioner off before I go to Pound Town on myself because
Why the edge of your bed?
He sits there. He sits there and does it like
Why?
a fucking inhuman freak.
So wait, so where do you watch your porn on your TV?
Yes.
And he's like, so I brought the point. I said that's pretty fucking weird. And he goes, how do you do it? This is how everybody does it.
No.
And I'm like, I lay down. He's like, that's fucking weird.
Generally, you're laying in bed. It's about
Yeah.
like 12:30. You fucking
I was like, I'm looking at my phone. And
look. Yeah,
when
you're
I
using your phone most likely.
And
It's
he's like-
2017. You can hide it on your person.
He's
at
like,
all
that's
times.
fucking weird. He's like, I'm gonna tell Robert about this, and he's gonna tell you how fucking disgusting you are and all this shit.
And what did Robert say?
Same thing I did.
that you lay down. I don't understand how you can do it. You don't get as much. You you don't get as much arm movement when you're laying down,
What,
right?
you're fucking hitting with a mallet? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Well, see, here's the thing. And if you're holding your phone, what kind of heat holds their phone while they jerk off?
You can hold it.
You hold it. You're here.
You're here. You're
See,
looking
like,
straight
no.
up.
It's like taking a selfie.
No, see, I like to go. I switch hands. I go backstroke, front stroke, backstroke, front stroke, and
Switch hands.
Don't fucking
yeah.
touch me. Ah.
So wait. So you essentially like giving yourself a stranger a session?
it's not a stranger.
I know,
You
but
just
like,
gotta switch it
because
up.
I know the left hand is like a different person doing it, but
Well, see, I can't
do
go
that
straight. This is a really weird topic.
is.
I feel pretty weird about this. I
It's
can't.
funny though. People eat this shit up.
I can't go straight up and I can't go straight up and down. I hope my family watches this show, by the way. So like,
my coworkers watching.
Aren't you proud?
I can't go straight up and down with my left hand. It doesn't work like that. So I have to switch to the backhand, and kind of
The forward crank.
yeah.
Running a fucking torque wrench on yourself.
That seems like a whole lot of effort. That seems like a whole lot of effort to fucking jerk off. Just saying.
Well, let me.
Do you end up sweating?
He's like, he has to light candles.
You light
He has to
candles.
set the temperature right, mood lighting.
Well, let me ask you this, Pedro. You ever put anything in your butt while you drink?
Yeah, right?
I tried to have a straight face when I just. Oh wow!
I mean, the answer is yes. No kidding.
No.
Or am I?
The first time I ever heard of that was in that movie Good Luck Chuck. You ever watch that
Yeah.
movie?
No.
Fantastic movie. Basically, what happens is it's Dean Cook, and he's cursed that every woman he has sex with leaves him and gets married to the next
good
person.
movie,
It's a
yeah.
good movie. But he walks in his roommate or his one buddy fucking a grapefruit with his finger up his ass.
Yeah. Some guys are into that. Some guys.
No,
are into
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, some guys, you
To
know.
each,
when
I
you-
mean, to each his own.
some guys
but-
when they're going to Pound Town, like a little thing in the stinkage, if you will. I've heard of that. That's not the first time I've heard of that.
I too have heard of that.
So.
Brown star in it, they call it.
It's called a Tennessee starfish.
It's called a
Oh my fucking god.
it's called a ping pong.
So
Because
okay.
you're going back and forward.
Yeah. So back to the original topic. Why the forehand grip though? I feel like that's a lot of different grips. It's like
I don't
you're a
know.
pitcher.
Because like I'm sitting there, I switch it up, right? I'll switch it up. I'll switch it up, and just the way I learned to jerk off.
Wait, learned? Who taught you?
Myself. But see,
Yourself as a shitty teacher.
I have always jerked off in front of the computer because that's where I got my porn. Is before the days of smartphones, so I learned to jerk off in a computer chair. You see where I'm coming from? Wow, that was deep.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from here. So I learned. I jerked off. I've always jerked off sitting up. Always jerked off sitting up.
Fucking weird.
That is weird.
I think it's weird that you guys jerk off laying down. Listen, anyone who's watching this, be honest. We all jerk off.
In the comment section.
Everyone jerks it. All right. Everyone flicks it, jerks
Let's start
it.
a poll.
I think we should start a Twitter poll. If you jerk
down.
off laying down or sitting up, because
Okay.
I think that you're guys gonna be surprised at the results.
I feel like laying down has hands down. Hands down.
How? Why?
Because that's
What do you
normally
guys use to clean yourselves up? Is what I don't
you
understand.
fucking have either a tube sock or fucking paper towels all on
Tube
hand.
sock?
It's a
What
happy
is this?
sock.
1970?
It's a
That's
happy
just,
sock.
that's just the typical bro move. Like everyone learns.
It's the army move. That's what you got.
Yeah, everyone learns you have a fucking sock on hand that you keep like under your bed where you know you won't fucking find it and wear it because that's a mistake you don't make twice. So like you have one either there or you have a paper. Sometimes you plan that. You never lay in bed and just unplanned to jerk off.
No.
Like you don't spontaneously start jerking off. Like it's planned.
Yeah.
It's planned.
Yeah, army the way it was. You always had your sock ready, your whatever material you were using, and it was one standard issue, ODU green.
You know what normally happens to me, to be perfectly honest? I'll be browsing Reddit, and I just...
Start playing with your balls.
No, I'm browsing Reddit, and all of a sudden I just click on an image that just happens to be a Gone Wild post or a Not Safe for Work post, and I'm like, this is some nice
You
boobies.
getting all spontaneous with yourself?
I do. Oof. Something's happening down to little Johnny down there.
Do you ever try to go after yourself and you're just not in the mood?
No.
No?
Can't say I've ever just been like, oh, I want to jerk off, but I'm not in the mood. That doesn't make any sense. Are you bipolar? Do you have schizophrenia?
It's called autism.
Yeah, you are pretty autistic.
Yeah. Sometimes you are not in the mood though. Like sometimes like
You go for it, and yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
My question wasn't stupid.
Why would you go for it if you're not in the mood? It's like trying to force
because
something.
what if you're stressed out? Like a lot of people do that to do that relief stress. Like you had a bad day at work.
Yeah, and you just aren't even in the mood.
Yeah, you're
that's how you unwind, but you can't unwind.
Yeah,
it's a real thing. My question
real
wasn't stupid. Fuck yourself. And your Grizzly Adams shirt.
This is the official 2 Beers and a Whiskey shirt. When the first topic we had was how to fight a bear.
Oh, really?
Or how many?
You serious?
No, I'm not serious. How would I fucking design this page? This is
It's believable.
He did wear this, I think, the first time.
This is the shirt I wore the first episode.
I'm a little sad about that. That'd have been a bitchin' logo.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to design something this cool. Unfortunately, I lack the skills or the creativity to do that.
And apparently the creativity in jerking off. So it's...
I don't understand. Why is it so weird to sit up and jerk off? It's not that weird, guys.
Okay,
why was it weird for us to lay down?
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Then.
There's nothing you can...
Have you ever gotten it on your chin? Because I feel like
you guys have a better option than getting on your chin than I would.
Fuck no. If you're here, trajectory just... yeah.
No.
No?
Because you can try. I usually have a napkin or a tissue there, right? And then when I feel the missile about to go off,
no one does that.
I just pull it over and bam.
There's no way. There's got to be friendly fire.
There's no friendly fire.
Well, what made this last in my mind, and you're like pulling off like it's no big deal now, but like when I suggested about laying down, you were fucking offended.
I legitimately, in my mind, don't understand why someone would rather jerk off laying down than they would sitting up. It doesn't
You're
make
more relaxed.
sense.
You're more relaxed.
I'm not trying to relax.
Why not?
Why not?
I'm trying
It's
to
supposed to
fucking
be.
It's
supposed to.
You got another person?
No, I'm too dead.
But it's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed you're supposed
I
to
feel
enjoy
relaxed
it.
afterwards.
Oh, no.
But see, I have the libido of Zeus himself.
Oh, fucking.
So when I get into it,
He's
I
single,
get into
by
it.
the way.
I am single. Speaking of which, I have been killing it with the ladies these past 4 months. Killing it. I've talked to more ladies in the past 4 months than I have in like ever.
Did they talk back to you?
Yes, they have.
Outstanding.
Can't take your advice though. I can't do it. In the last episode, I can't talk to more than one at a time.
You're doing it wrong.
I can't.
I'm with him. I couldn't do that if I was.
I don't have the morality to do that.
It's not a morals thing.
It seems like a morals
Why?
thing.
Why? Because what? Because what loyalty do you owe to them that they are even
Here's why.
reciprocating to you?
Here's why. I'll tell you why. Because I have had too many times where I've been talking to a girl, and then she's been talking to, and we've seemed like it's been going well, and I really liked her, but she's been talking to someone else at the same time, and I remember how that feels, and that's why.
Here's my thing: that like, when you're courting a girl, when you're trying to say you are interested in her, there most likely will be someone else. Like she's not going to be talking. You're not the only guy she's talking to. It's very rare.
Yeah, I know.
So it's one of those things like you don't think of it as a morality thing. Once you start talking to a girl, that's the only girl you talk to. You're gonna. That's putting your eggs in one basket, sir.
But it's the insane thing is that
it's all or nothing thinking.
I'm not really doing anything different. I have this amazing hairline, but as my confidence level is going up, by the more this is happening, the more the opportunities are presenting themselves.
Yeah. So you're actually doing it without thinking you're doing it.
Yeah.
See, it's not a morality thing though. It's not. Because until they're your actual girlfriend, then
because it actually almost happened. I almost started dating 2 girls at once, and then I was like,
see at that point,
can't do it.
Because at that point you got to know where the one's going. You start. It's like a drug. You wean yourself off.
I just can't do it.
See, that seems fucked up too.
Well, but that's kind of the way it goes, though.
I know, like rationally, I know you're right because I know that's the right thing, but that's not how I operate. I don't think I can do that.
Oh, you boy.
You also gotta understand that I've been pretty much an exclusively long-term relationship since I was 14, so that might have something to do with it too.
Sometimes you just gotta temper expectations and see what happens, man.
That's what I'm trying to do. Had a really good date last Wednesday.
Yeah, you did. It in a sense it came back here. I got to meet her. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Good time for all of
Outstanding.
She's pretty funny.
So what's our next topic, boys?
Well, let's try this gin, huh?
All right.
This is this week's liquor. It's 2 beers and a gin today.
2 beers and a fucking gin.
New Amsterdam gin. Pretty good. Pedro's never had gin.
I never had gin.
Seth, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Salud. Okay.
It ails from the juniper berry.
I like how it has that citrus kick.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of citrus.
Okay.
And that's why, like, and I know you don't like it, but gin and tonics, you put lime with it. It accents it real well. There's this stuff called Bombay Blue Sapphire, and I'll have to get some of that.
Okay.
That stuff.
So who's got the next topic? Because we started off with a fucking vulgar one.
It was, but I like to throw forward with that in this show I don't think we should have any shame.
Right.
I don't think we should either.
Well, hang on. The kickback though. What about the fucking guys who do it in the shower? What about those motherfuckers?
Those fucking savages. Listen, here's a weird thing about me though. I legitimately can't.
Neither can I. Just not comfortable.
I can.
I mean, it's not I'm not
Well,
comfortable.
When I know he's going in after me, I'm paying
I can't even
that fucking
I can't even if I really have to fucking try to get that done.
Okay.
Now I can have sex in the shower and be a god.
See, I have more trouble having sex in a shower than I do.
That's because you're.
See, I'm all business in the shower, man. Not just trying to get in there, get clean, get out.
You ever shower with a girl?
Yes, and it's not logistically because I'm fat, so there's a lot of logistic problems that go with that.
With my last serious girlfriend, I fell out of the shower while having
Yeah, you
sex.
told me that.
That was embarrassing.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Well, because your feet go above your head, my butthole was showing. It's just not.
Mike Honcho.
I'll take the next topic here, gentlemen.
We're sorry.
I think this is good. I think it's going well.
I'll give an option. Do we want to talk about life, steroids, John Jones, sports brain trauma, video games, shitty jobs, or music?
I'll take shitty jobs for 500, Alex.
Yeah,
Shitty jobs? Let's talk about some shitty jobs. Watson, how about you go first? Let's talk about your time in the military. I'm just joking. Unless you want to talk about your time in the military. That's your choice. If you consider that a shitty job. How about you throw me another shot of gin? I'll get it.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know where to start with this one. This is all over the place. Well, the big thing about the military is if you go in knowing it's going to be an absolute, a metric shit show, you'll be fine. But naturally, we all go on thinking we're going to be fucking Rambo.
I got a question for you before we move on. I was reading this Reddit thread about recruiters, military recruiters, and how they have like super shitty tactics, and sometimes they'll like try and like bully people when they join the military.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you get bullied into signing up? Wait a minute.
It's like reverse psychology and shit.
Like you're too much of a fucking pussy to do it, and
they know how to play on kids in high school.
I'll show you, motherfucker.
The big thing to remember, it's not all of them. Because everyone's like, you can't trust a recruiter. You shouldn't trust a recruiter, but there are trustworthy recruiters. My recruiter did not lie to me. Not one thing did he lie to me.
Didn't Sheldon get fucked over pretty hard before by his recruiter?
No. We had the same recruiter. It was ROTC, kind of. Some things there messed with him.
Well, because I remember a lot of people were getting like sign-on bonuses and whatnot.
Yeah.
He didn't get his, I thought, or something like that. Something along those lines.
I didn't get mine.
You didn't get yours, maybe
but
that was it.
that's because my job it didn't qualify for it.
Oh.
You'd think it would have, of all jobs.
Medic.
Medic, but it did not.
I'm still not convinced you're a medic. I think you were some sort of fucking like cook on the line. You're just like, I'm gonna go back and tell those guys I was a medic. They'll respect me more if they think I was a medic.
No, I had it better than cooks.
Terrible.
No, it would actually suck to be a cook. Like they basically wake up at like, I don't know if they got up at like 2 or 3 in the morning to get ready.
Coach is a cook.
Yeah, I was like, hi, coach.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, coach.
I've met him on the internet. He's right now where I was, to my knowledge. But yeah, if you go in knowing it's going to be a shitstorm, then you'll be fine. But nobody does that. So like the list, the biggest list of pointless shit that you'll ever do in your entire life. Like I've already passed that point in my life. Like you get up, hey, we've got med debt today. We got to go down and we got to do physicals. So the captain says, all right, I want them there by 6. So the lieutenant says, all right, I don't want to look bad. Be there 5:30, so we're sure everyone's there. Platoon sergeant says, all right, be there at 5. Squad leader says, be there at 4:30.
Jesus Christ.
where am I? Section.
You're at squad leader.
Squad leader. Team leader says, be there at 4.
What does red leader say?
Red leader, standing by.
That seems like a lot of chain of command.
It is, but that's exactly how it happens. Like, you'll have these increments where whether it be 15, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, it's never the time that you were told to be there is never the one you were. I've been places 2.5, 3 hours before I needed to be there, and we just stand around.
Well, yeah, if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're 45 minutes late.
Yeah, you're fucking late.
And
that's in life. That is life. That's in any.
Yeah, and that was an important life lesson I learned from it. But like, you'd have these.
Hang on, that's not computing with it.
That math does not add
up. Look at the millennial here. It's not understanding
that's the point.
If you're not 15 minutes early, you're 45 minutes late.
Yeah, that's the point. It doesn't make sense.
So hang on, Seth. 'Cause let me break this down to you. So say when I work 3 to 11.
Yeah.
I'm at work at 2:15.
Yeah. Whoa, wait, why? You're 45 minutes early.
We're not going to win this one.
Because, you get in, you're there, you're present, you meet with your shift.
If you're there that early, nothing can happen to hold you from being
I
back.
normally show up like 20 minutes early. I feel pretty good about it.
But there's always situations, and not that they do happen, but they could happen, where you get held up 20 minutes and you're late. And my point is, the military sees it. If you're 30 seconds late,
you're late.
You've been late for fucking 24 hours, and you're
okay. Now I understand a lot.
You get what that's what I'm.
I sort of. Why do you really show 45 minutes earlier for work every day?
Yeah. Well, for me, it gets me time to meet with my shift, check my emails, get ready for my shift. Like that's
my office job. I got there early.
You said you work a lot unpaid though, right?
Yes.
See, we're not allowed to do that. They won't let us.
Why?
At First Quality.
Oh.
It's okay. I'll beep it out.
Right. None of us work there.
No, it's okay. I'll just go. But I didn't take this shot yet.
Okay. So because it just helps you get over the fact you're gonna be at fucking work, because that's always the rough one. You're just like, motherfucker, I don't want to come in today. So then you're there. You're there. But yeah, being early just kind of, it's one of those things, like it speaks to the work ethic. You're there, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And then
it looks good on you for promotion.
Absolutely, yeah. It ties into multiple things.
I'm about to test out of my trainee position.
Oh.
I got almost all my stuff done, which doesn't mean anything to our viewers, but it's really because we're at the same place.
Thank you for you.
I'm about to get tested off and off too.
Nice. What about shitty jobs for you, Seth? I have a feeling I know where this one's going, but
I've had a lot of shitty jobs, Pedro. I'm glad you asked. So my first shitty job was when I was 12 years old. Let's take a trip.
Oh, that wasn't that bad. I worked there with you.
Down military lane. You have no idea.
Military lane?
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I think I do.
So my first job ever was setting targets at a shooting range.
Fuck you.
So this was a long distance, high power rifle shoot with metal animals at different yards.
Silhouette shooting?
Silhouette shooting, exactly. Which wouldn't mean much to anybody else listening, but that's why I said high powered, long distance. So I worked because I was a younger kid. I was 12 years old. They started hiring kids for this job at 12 years old, which is just mind blowing.
It seems pretty illegal to me, but yeah.
Seems extremely illegal, yeah.
What's this place called?
It's a shooting range where I got my actual state championship for shooting. But
just had to slip that in there.
Just had to slip that in there, just so you know.
Do they know you're second degree?
I don't know if you guys know this. I'm second degree black.
How many times have we heard that today?
Fucking too many.
That's my new slogan. No, so basically what happened is there'd be a giant mound of dirt. In front of the mound of dirt would be basically a metal I-beam, and the animals would sit on it. They were the silhouette animals. I usually did the chickens because I was younger. I was 12 years old. I was a little weaker than the other kids. They were a little older. And it's funny, I was fucking 12. Basically what happened is they would all shoot, but behind that mound of dirt, you'd be in a bunker made of concrete, right? Well,
it seems like a good job to get fucked with.
The problem is that you're fucking 12 years old. And
I was smart enough to not walk out in gunfighter when I was 12 years old. I don't know about you, Pedro.
Yeah, I also was smart enough not to walk out in a gunfire.
Yeah, I know. You guys may have been, but I wasn't. So,
oh my god.
At least somebody got shot.
We had radios, right? And I was like, oh, there's a fucking giant mound of dirt here. Like, I'm fine. So I'd walk out of the bunker and behind the mound of dirt and play in a fucking puddle or throw rocks up or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Like, yeah, there's literal bolts flying above my head. You can hear them hitting the trees and stuff.
Don't be a pussy.
And then all of a sudden I hear, ceasefire, ceasefire! like, Seth, get your ass back in that motherfucking bunker. This is the only time I saw my dad legitimately scare me to death. Like, so they took pictures of me out in the bunker. They zoomed and took pictures. You could see my head above the mound of dirt.
Oh, dude, you could have caught one right upside the dome piece.
I was like this close to
Get that old mashed melon. That's a good time for everyone.
Boom, headshot.
So they took pictures of my head.
+5.
Like peeking out above the dirt mound. And we're talking there's 20 people firing at these silhouettes at the same time. You know, like,
oh my God,
like just a fucking idiot. Like, I was 12 years old. I was fucking stupid, right? My dad grabbed me that day and threw me up against the truck, screaming at me. Which, good on him because I was fucking retarded.
Yeah, that seems warranted.
But also, like, it was shitty conditions. Like, we'd be out there for 8 hours sometimes, get paid $25. Like, it was basically slave labor for 12-year-olds.
Shot at.
Yeah. But that was my first job ever, and that was a pretty shitty job. The bunkers were disgusting and, like animal and bug infested. And
you guys know how to party out here in the boondocks.
Yeah, bro. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait.
I love you, Central PA folks.
And then I worked on the farm with Watson. After that,
I thought that's what you were going for.
No, my next job was working on the farm with Watson, which wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a shitty
Everyone
job.
bitches about it, but it was good money for being that age.
It was, yeah. I was like, what, 16? We were getting paid.
We were like 13.
Well,
13, 14.
I didn't start until later. I didn't start until high school, so I was probably like 16. And we worked. You get wet, you get corn rash. You learn to wear a poncho, which they probably
we had a lot of fun though.
They probably should fucking tell you.
They did.
I wasn't told I needed to wear a poncho.
You weren't listening, just like you didn't listen when you walked out of the fucking bunker.
I was 12 years old. Why would you put a 12-year-old in that fucking situation by himself?
We had a lot of fun doing that shit. The dirt rolling people. You sneak up behind them, get them by the legs, and fucking roll them in dirt.
I'll tell you what was crazy was our boss was a fucking ninja.
The master of the Viet Cong.
Yeah. And he could literally sneak up. He was the scariest motherfucker. Scariest motherfucker, because he could just sneak up behind you and be like, you missed one.
Wearing the brightest chartreuse poncho you've ever seen. Like, it was almost like a trench coat.
Yeah.
And his blue hat and that fucking thing. Like, you could see him coming. Like, if you would have... Well, you couldn't, but you could... I don't... You can't fathom how you could miss him. But you wouldn't hear him, you wouldn't... And I know he never made any facial expressions when he scared you. I know for a fact. In fact, he told me later, I ran into him at a gun sporting goods place.
A gun place?
And he told... Yeah, a gun place. And he did love that. He fucking loved doing that to people, and he just kept his composure.
Just so the crowd at home knows, I am aware that I'm drinking a Rockstar beer and taking gin shots. You don't need to fucking criticize me about it, alright?
Leave a comment in the comment section.
That's the more powerful one, too. It's got 240 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Dude, you're gonna have a fucking heart murmur.
How do you do? I get heart.
I can check for that.
So,
I'll start checking.
So it's really weird, because I've had a lot of jobs in my life, but I never considered any of them, like, really shitty. Like... I my first job was working at an FYE selling music and video games.
You cunt.
And backstage passes.
You cunt. You're an enabler and you're a motherfucker.
Because, you know...
I tried to tell you not to get that backstage.
I also tried to warn you, too.
Can we throw some shade real quick?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Throwing some shade.
Yes.
We have to do that every single time.
Can we absorb the throwing some shade into the show? All right. Before and again, I'm sorry for interrupting, but this needs to be said. All right, if you're an FYE customer and they talk you into getting the backstage pass, don't fucking do it.
Well,
don't you fucking...
You just addressed someone that's already been talking to getting a backstage pass.
Yes, but I'm telling them now. If they're watching and they haven't done it,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
But you only addressed if you are an FYE customer and they have talked you into getting a backstage pass.
Did I do that?
Yeah, they've already gotten it.
All right, I'm sorry. If you are an FYE customer and you may be talked into getting a backstage pass, don't fucking do it.
Why's that, Watson?
Because it will unleash heartache. You weren't even there. Don't even... You weren't even there. You used to work for them.
They've charged you so
World
much
Entertainment, baby.
money. Hey, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yes. So I thought it was well and good. They told you know, you get these 3 magazines to choose from, and I was like, all right. So I got Car and Driver, Rolling Stone, and something National Geographic. And
you didn't get Maxim, you fuck.
that wasn't on the list when I did it.
I don't think they do it anymore. They used to have Playboy too.
Yeah, I know that was the way to get
they
Playboy,
weren't.
Sports Illustrated, Maxim.
Believe me, I would have gotten Maxim if it was on there, but it was not.
Speaking of which, just
that Lindsay Lohan.
Behind you is the Maxim Mary Jane cover from New York Comic Con.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Oh, did I show you that? Okay.
But so I fell for the trap, and they kept telling me, you know, you got to cancel that now. You got to cancel that now. And I kind of put it off for a while, and then I started seeing I was getting charged. So all right, the trial's up. So I called him, and I got this guy. What was his fucking name?
Stay strong.
So hard. So hard. His name was fucking Atmanand or something like that. And he's, well, sir, if you would like to re-up on this, I give you this for free. And I was like, no, thank you, sir.
Yeah, they'll fucking beg you to not.
No, thank you. I just
Their life's on the line.
Yeah.
Someone with a gun.
Yeah.
I think there actually is somebody with a fucking
Yeah.
gun. Like, this motherfucker cancels. Ooh, I hope he cancels.
And I was like, no, sir, I'm 100% sure I don't. I just want you to cancel it. And he's like, well, okay, sir, I will just renew it for you, and I will give you this. I will give you this magazine for free for 4 months, and you keep paying for these. I said, no, I don't want that. I just want to cancel. He's like, all right, sir, we keep your subscription going, and I give you these. I'm like, all right, buddy, you're not fucking hearing me. I don't want it, no matter what you're gonna offer me. And he kept going, and I ended up. I don't know if I screamed at him. I was pretty frustrated. I was like, I don't fucking want anymore. Cancel it.
I don't know, that was like 10 months ago, so I have no idea.
And eventually he's like, all right, so we'll cancel for you. And they canceled it for me. And I just realized on my statements that I was getting this money taken out. And Seth...
It's like $30 a month, isn't it?
It was 17 something.
Not that bad.
And Seth looked it up and it said Rolling Stone Magazine. So I called Rolling Stone Magazine. They sent me out to this other company.
Trans World Entertainment.
No. There was another company in between them.
Oh, okay.
And I called them, and I asked for it. Gave me the option for the source of where I ordered this, and then it Trans World Entertainment. Yeah. And then I called them and talked to some guy named Thomas. And I'm sorry, Thomas, your name is not really Thomas. I know that.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, you found out.
And I had to talk with him a little bit, but they finally canceled it. But the moral of this story, this interrupting Pedro's story, is don't fucking do it.
Don't get the backstage pass.
Don't get the backstage pass.
Because here's the thing: it used to be so easy to talk people into it. You'd be like, "Hey, you trying to save some money today?"
I am, Pedro.
So if you sign up for this backstage pass, you gotta buy. You gotta buy 2, get 1 free. If you use your debit card,
That sounds great.
If you use your debit card and you pay monthly, it'll be free for you today.
What?
And you'll get a 10% discount on your purchase today. Is that something you want to do today, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'd be hook, line, and sinker.
They got me when I was like 18, fresh out of high school.
Get them.
And they told me, but see, the thing is, they didn't even tell me there was a charge. They told me it was free.
Yeah,
That's what they told me. That's how cheap it was.
fucking
One
charge.
bombshell
Another
working at FYE got me.
You got tit shamed.
I got tit shamed.
Yeah, there's a charge.
No. Was it, she honeypotted you, honey dicked you?
She honey dicked you?
She honey dicked you.
She honey dicked me.
Yeah, because it used to be really easy to get people to sign up for that. And then, I did that job for about a year.
Get it!
No! Why does this keep happening?
Pedro.
Why does this keep happening? Give me
I don't. We're out of napkins, Pedro. Washing good thing, get him a paper towel.
Why does this keep happening?
Pedro, I don't know why. Because you're Puerto Rican, maybe.
Maybe it is. Maybe. Ooh, that's
Did you just give me a tissue?
Let's not
just
wipe
give
my
me a tissue.
nose.
Let's not make that joke.
Let's not make fun of Puerto Ricans on this show. Okay?
No. The joke I almost made. But yeah. So I guess the shittiest job I ever had was working for working contract security.
Contract? You tried to talk me into this job.
Yeah, but because at the time it was steady shitty employment, but it was employment nonetheless.
And I was unemployed for 6 months. That makes sense.
So my first security gig, I was guarding a pile of dirt in Watsontown.
No one was gonna touch your pile of dirt.
Well, basically in training they said if anyone ever tries to come get this, offer them a dolly. Like this is how absurd it would be for someone to try and break into this. It was a metal powder plant.
Offer them a dolly?
Yeah, if you want help. So
Nice.
Basically, help them take what you were supposed to guard.
yeah, because this was a minimum wage job. I would be there from 4 till midnight, so no one was ever fucking there. The plant was empty when I was there, so I would just do stupid shit all the time, like go and climb things that were really high because I was bored.
I love it.
I would, I don't know, you would just fuck with people, like you'd fuck with their logbooks. I used to draw dicks in the one logbook. And, like, there would always be these like really nasty emails saying I was doing this.
So wait, so someone's trying to steal the thing you're supposed to protect. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to help them steal it.
Yeah, dude, I was making minimum wage. I was 18 years old.
That seems counterproductive.
And like half the time, I remember this because like I would bring my laptop and play emulators all day.
That's awesome.
So like I was making $7.25 an hour to do fucking nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
My first real job was at GameStop working minimum wage.
How'd that go?
Well,
did it go viral, Seth?
It did go viral. That's one of 2 viral videos I made in my life. Yeah, the other one was a Final Fantasy VII release date video, which I was horribly wrong on. That is still up. I said in the video, I said, if this is wrong, I'm not taking it down. I will live with this shame the rest of my life. And I have so far. It's got 40,000 views.
Really?
Yes. Yes, it does.
You fucking nerd.
The GameStop one has almost 80,000 views.
I remember that video. You were so angry.
I had just gotten fired for nothing. I got fired for being friends with 2 other guys that got fired. That was the reason GameStop fired me.
But in retrospect, what do you think now?
Did you deserve to be fired? Or?
I still don't think I deserve to be fired.
Well, because of the 2 friends you were friends with.
The one wasn't bad. The one had been with GameStop for like 5 years, and he was a great employee. The only thing he didn't do was sell the powder card, and that's why they got rid of him. That's it.
Does the other guy's name rhyme with Barry?
Or Gary?
Gary? Swede? Oh?
This is the guy you're always talking about?
Yeah. Sometimes. The guy's a magician. I don't know how he gets away with the things he does, but yeah, he was legitimately stealing. But I was just friends with him. I didn't do anything wrong at the time, and they straight up cut me off. Which, looking back on, was a good thing because I ended up working at Liberty Mountain a few months later.
Met some good people.
Met my best friends.
Well, I thought I heard Mexican people.
You know, I met...
Were there Mexican people?
I met Fletcher and Chris and Elijah and a whole bunch of other really great people at Liberty Mountain, but... I worked at Liberty Mountain for 4 years. I wouldn't call that a shitty job. That was just more of a typical warehouse job. You walk around, pick things off the shelves, box things up. Nice. Everyone at home listening to this just heard you rip ass out of your mouth.
Shit.
Yeah, no, this is not sitting.
Liberty Mountain was cool. I mean, we got to chill a lot, especially me and Fletcher, like after hours, because I worked until like 7.
Yeah.
A lot of times me and Fletcher would just talk about World of Warcraft or fucking video games or whatever.
Cool.
It was pretty cool. And then, gentlemen.
Oh, no.
And then, gentlemen, I quit Liberty Mountain because they wouldn't give me a raise. They promised me. And I was like, I had like a moment where I was like, I gotta be a man. I gotta have self-respect. And I walked in there and I was like, I quit.
And they're like, okay.
And walked out. Because he literally promised me. He told me, he's like, all right, we'll give you a 75-cent raise.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll give you a 75-cent... I worked there for 4 years, never gotten a raise. We'll give you a 75-cent raise. It'll be on your next review. Okay. They botched my review on purpose so that he could go, well, I can't give you a 75-cent raise with this type of review. I never said that. I wouldn't say I could give you a 75-cent raise. I was like, go fuck yourself. Right? I had a big conversation with myself, conversation with my girlfriend at the time. So I was unemployed for 9 months. I took whatever I could get. I ended up at a little place called Flying J. Now let's throw some shade at Flying J.
I don't know why we do that. That's great. I love it.
When I got my interview at Flying J, they told me, we'll give you 2 promotions within 6 months.
I remember this.
We'll give you every other weekend off.
I fucking told you about that when you started, though. Who told you? I fucking told you.
Was I not supposed to believe them? Why the fuck would they lie to me during my interview?
No, you weren't supposed to believe them. When they told you they were hiring you to make you a manager, I told you that was bullshit.
So they told me, we'll hire you, we'll make you a manager within 6 months because you got management experience, you seem like a good kid, You seem like...
I told you it was too good to be true.
Every other weekend off, I'm like, great. Turned out I
made it.
Turned out I was cleaning up poop and semen out of toilets. Never got a promotion. Never got a raise.
Like a good little skank.
They honey-dicked him.
I was working every single weekend.
I remember this.
I was dealing with shit employees, tons of drama. It was literally the worst place I've ever worked. On the flip side of that, though, I did meet some really incredible people there.
A lot of Russians.
Well, not customers, but like other employees there. There's one girl named Katie, another girl named Spring.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
What's up? We know you. Hey, girl.
she does listen to the show.
Oh.
Well, that's awkward. Hi.
You can't edit that out. You gotta leave that.
Yeah, I challenge you to not edit that out.
Don't be a pussy.
I met this other lady named Barb.
Yeah, you treat Barb with love and respect, goddamn.
Barb is a beautiful old lady.
Yeah.
Is she the older? Who was the one that wouldn't do the coffee or wouldn't ask you if the fucking creamer needed restock?
Oh, that's Jen. Jen's a cunt.
Oh.
Fuck Jen.
We'll
no.
See you next Tuesday.
So I was cleaning up a lot of poop, a lot of cum, getting a lot of shit from managers because there was a lot of fucking backstabbing drama. That was the worst part about it. It was a fucking gas station. These people like hated each other. But I would go back.
It's like the Game of Thrones.
Throw on my headphones, pretend I was somewhere else, and clean up a whole bunch of truck driver cum right off the floor. Because these truck drivers,
Just jerk off.
they would sit up to jerk off.
Well, they had no option. They were gonna lay on the fucking ground.
We're coming full circle with this one. They would sit up to jerk off, and they would come right on the fucking floor. And I'm like,
you dogs.
And I'm like, and sometimes I wouldn't get back there for like 8 hours. So I would literally have to like get on my hands and knees and like use a towel and like cleaning products, like scrape it off the fucking...
At any point, did you come out screaming, "Lay off the Hispanics"?
And I'm not trying to be racist here, but Indians literally do wipe their ass and throw their toilet paper beside the toilet. And it was like a well-known thing there. And I was like...
Why?
Who's listening to Mexican music?
Well, it'd have to be Vicky. It's Vicky.
My fiance. Loving my life.
It's literal Mexican music.
It's called reggaeton, you fuck.
What's that mean?
Mexican?
No! I'm not sure why she's listening to that.
I played the Miyama Watson.
So yeah, I get on my hands and knees, scrub cum off the floor, scrub shit off the seats. But here's the trick, gentlemen. A lot of times, we were supposed to use cleaning products to clean a shower.
And you didn't.
Nah. I just used their dirty towel, cleaned up all the water, and locked that bad boy and left.
That's disgusting.
That's great.
Fuck that place.
So, okay, hang on. I did have one shitty job. This is...
Hold on. No, I'm not going to say that. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. So I did have one shitty job. And I can talk about this because this place is no longer in existence. It was my first job working at a juvenile treatment facility, a certain place called Northwestern Academy. This was in...
It's a good college.
Yeah. This was in Cole Township, Pennsylvania. And the things I learned at this job were...
I'm getting fucking shit-faced.
I can tell that. Things I learned... I learned how bad a job can just suck.
Tell me, Pedro. Tell me all about it.
So, imagine you go in to work a first shift, right? Work a nice 6 to 2. And every week, you get fucking mandated 3 to 4 times a week. 3 to 4 times a week.
That sucks.
So, it was just... There was no staffing. You'd run with, 16, 17 residents, 2 staff, but you can't do shit. You would just watch movies all day. There was no treatment going on. People would get assaulted. I got attacked with a mop once.
Tell us about that.
Motherfucker, you need to take some karate class. It's almost like you need to take some karate classes, Pedro.
You can't use karate on them, Seth.
Can you use other mops? Can you
That's
match their level of assault?
You cannot match the level of assault.
Could you restrain them
and then use a mop? No.
And then rip their eyes out?
No.
Clean their actions up. You've been a dirty kid. Fucking clean you with this mop.
Okay. Well, just basically, what had happened was we'll say a gentleman, was
he gentle?
was very escalated the one day.
An escalation.
And he was out on janitorial, just cleaning. Very angry though. I don't know why. And I just went out front to take a shit. Like I didn't do anything to this person. And I go walking back to the unit, and apparently I had walked where he just mopped.
Motherfucker.
Right. Apparently that, and I didn't know that. So like I just all of a sudden I feel something hit me in the back of the head, and he hit me with the fucking mop. And
wait, was it the wet end or the dry end?
The dry end. Hit me with the pole, like the stick.
Dick.
I don't know. It seems warranted. He walked where he mopped.
No.
Did he do a swiping strike, or did he like stab you?
It was a swing.
Oh, it was a swing.
Yeah, just right in the back of the head. Right in the back of the head.
I've got a story to tell.
I'd rather be swung
and
and struck.
And
I think.
there are other times like
stung. You get a stinger.
There are just other times you get your hair pulled, spit on.
Oh, he had
kicked,
beautiful
punched
like that.
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet.
We had people get stabbed there, like in the neck with a pen.
You literally have the softest hair I've ever met in my life.
Thank you.
Have you? It's like
Thank you for being here with
it's
that.
like petting an animal. Like,
I know. I love it.
It's so soft.
But mind you, this was one of these places I learned a lot of what you can't do when working with people. Like, just people bringing in contraband. I was in a lawsuit once. Just the most miserable fucking time of my life.
It sounds exciting,
It
honestly.
was terrible. But I did, you know what? The irony of the story is, I did meet some great people.
Yeah, like you always do meet great people at shitty jobs.
Yeah, you do meet great people at shitty jobs.
Playing off your story of the mopping incident and going back to the Army, which inherently I don't regret doing it. It wasn't a shitty job. There were just really shitty moments.
There was a time when you were really depressed and told me, Seth, you were right. I should never signed up for the military.
Ooh.
Where was I?
Kuwait.
Yeah. This also happened in Kuwait. I was basically one of my side duties. I was the mail NCO, so I had to sort through the mail that came in and disperse it to our unit. And
NCO, non-commissioned officer, am I right?
That is right, but I was not actually a non-commissioned officer at the time.
Okay.
I just filled that slot.
We're just using a lot of jargon here.
I later became a non-commissioned officer, but that's another story.
Well, why didn't you become a commissioned officer, you fucking lazy sack?
I didn't go to college.
Oh, so the truth comes out.
Anyway, I'm sorting through the mail, and my first sergeant comes out, and he says, who's also from Cole Township.
Outstanding. What a shithole that is.
I don't know, he might hear
Why
it.
do we have a topic for us?
He still scares the shit out of me, but he came and told me, he's like,
The beautiful goddess in the red car.
yeah, indeed.
I still miss her.
She might have been 12.
But I had to sweep this walkway. He told me, make sure you sweep this walkway. And I'm like,
Jen.
all right. So I forget to sweep the walkway. And I look out the window later, and he's doing it himself. And when your first sergeant's doing a job that he told you to do, it's not a good thing.
That's a bad look.
So he
You should
told
have
me...
sworn down and be like, thank you so much.
No. God, no. No, that's
How badly did you guys get smoked?
not us guys. It was me. It was just me he told to do it. And I saw it, and I'm like, oh my God. So I run outside. I'm like, first sergeant, and I went to take the mop from him. He's like, oh, I'll finish it. He's like, bring your body armor up here at 06 tomorrow. All right. Yes, for sergeant.
It's like you see him like start walking over there with the thing, and you just like tackle him, be like, no, I got it, don't worry.
So the next morning, I put on what we call full battle rattle helmet, chest armor. I have a groin protector, all the shit I don't want to be wearing when it's 135 degrees out, but I'm wearing it. And I show up, and he's right out there. He's right out in front of the building. I was like, fuck. So I'm walking through sand, getting up to this little hut we have. And he looks up at me, and he hands me a spoon. A coffee spoon. One of the little coffee spoons. And I took it.
I remember this story. You told me this story before. I like it. I love this story.
It's about the area that he assigned me was about the size of this living room. And he's like, you're going to take that spoon, and you're going to level this area off. And he's like...
Sand.
Yeah, sand. With a little shovel, coffee spoon to stir. And he's like, the excess sand, you're going to fill sandbags. So I'm filling sandbags with that. And so I'm like, in my head, and I learned a valuable lesson from this, First Sergeant. God bless you. And I don't get the story wrong, bitchin'. He's a great man. I have a lot of respect for him.
Still from a shithole, fuckhole township.
Oh. Yeah. But I'm, he hands it to me and he goes inside, starts his day early. He had to start his day early because he had to meet me there. So I'm like, fuck. And I'm out there, and before I start, I'm just looking at this little coffee spoon like, I fucked up. And the sun's barely up. It's coming up over the horizon, which is beautiful in the desert, but I didn't want to be up to see it. And he leans out the window. He's like, it's not going to get done with you standing there, Scrappy. You better get started. Fuck. So I get started, and I'm not 10 minutes into it, and I break my spoon in half. Because I'm angry, and I'm fucking shoveling sand into this thing. So I snap it right in half. I'm like, fuck. So I go in. I have a desk inside. I go in. I have tape on there. So I tape it up, and I put this paper clip behind it to make this, like, reinforced thing. It's
MacGyver.
I'm so fucking happy. This thing's going to be precision spoon. I go back out, and I'm doing it, and he walks out, and he's like, give me the spoon. So I gave the spoon to him, and he takes the tape off, takes the paper clip off, throws the handle. He's like, failure to take care of your equipment. He's like, you will use as is. So I had the little bowl of the spoon, the little end that I had to do it. I was there for roughly 14 hours doing that job.
Nice.
Doing that job. And what made me think of this was you said about you walked in the mopping area. Mm-hmm. I have this area all leveled. And this NCO walks through it. And I just... He was a staff sergeant. I was a private first class at the time, so I can't curse at him or anything. I just looked up at him with these eyes like Cindy Lou Who when the Grinch was stealing the presents. Why? Why would you do that? And
Why, Mr. Grinch?
Why, Mr. Grinch?
He looked down at me and looked at the area, and he realized what I was doing. And he actually did not do it on purpose. He looked down. And he's like, "I'm so sorry, Private." He's like, "I am so sorry." And he's like, "I'll fix this." He's like, "Go over there." And my first sergeant leans out the window. "No, it's all right, Staff Sergeant. He's got it." And he closed the window. And the sergeant looks down at me, looks at the first sergeant. He's like, "I am so sorry." And he just walks inside. So, shoveling sand, I flatten it out. And I mean, he wanted it fucking flat. Doesn't another sergeant do it? Same thing. Didn't, it's just sand. We walk over it every day of the year. And it was just this one day. It was special. And they're like, "I'm so sorry." And they want to do it. He said, "Nope, Scrappy's got it." And by the end of the day, I finally had it all done. I had moved the picnic table so people couldn't walk through where I was. And the first sergeant comes out to go to chow. And he walks right across the area I just made perfect. And he looks down and he's like, "There's footprints where you were supposed to flatten this out." And I just looked at him like, "You're a monster."
Burning rage.
And he's like, "You better go to chow and get something to eat if you're going to be out here finishing this." So I went to eat and I came back, and of course the wind had blown the sand all over. It was just like it was in the morning. So I finished work, and eventually he came over. He's like, "That's good enough." He's like, he's like, "You had all day to do it." He's like, "You should have done a fucking good job. I expect to see you here and do everything I tell you to tomorrow." Roger that, first sergeant. So I went back, walked in, my chew, and my roommate just looks up and starts laughing at me. And that was a shitty day, gentlemen.
That is a shitty day.
It was 137
so
degrees out that day.
I got
That's
a
what we
question
call
for you.
hazing, but let's not.
I wanted to wait until your story's finished to ask you this. Do you think now earlier today when we had the karate dojo, we sparred, and I threw a body shot that damn near crippled you.
Thank you for airing that. But
You're
yes.
welcome. Do you think that if you had your body armor on, that would have made a difference?
Oh yeah, your hand would have been broken. That wouldn't have affected me at all.
I was wearing boxing gloves. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, it would have done nothing to me.
Is there any way we can maybe rent out body armor?
I have body armor upstairs right now.
We need to record a video of us sparring, you in body armor.
No, because that'll limit my movements. I won't be able to move fast.
I just want to hit you as hard as fucking possible in body armor. Let me do it.
Just let him have it.
Let me have it.
You gotta punch me in the head though too.
I'll punch you.
I'm wearing my helmet
I'll punch you square in the head.
on the top with my helmet on.
No, I want you to understand, Watson. I've only hit you about 50%. I've only hit you about 50.
That Kevlar will break your hand into pieces.
Do you really think so?
Oh, I know it will. Oh, I know that helmet, the chest guard, the body armor.
I've had 14 years of hard body training,
and it will break your hand.
Have you seen these knuckles?
These dick beaters.
Yeah, and
these dick beaters.
I'm gonna see what they look like broken because that helmet. Will
Okay, see, because this ties into a saying they say: stitches were invented for men.
Yeah.
Stitches were invented for fucking men. 2 beers and a whiskey special episode: Watson versus Seth, full body armor edition.
And for the record, I'm not fighting. He's just punching me while I'm in body armor. I guess.
You don't want to fight back?
Oh, well, I will, but you made it sound like you just wanted to punch me while I was wearing body armor.
That's the truth.
It's not going to play out well for you, my friend.
I also think it could be pretty awesome. Because I can hit you as hard as I fucking want.
I'm not driving you to the hospital.
I'll drive you to the.
I'll wear my. Here's the thing. I won't even wear my karate gloves or my MMA gloves. That's how fucking confident I am that I will drop you.
Okay, now you have to let him do this.
I'll wear my MMA gloves, Watson. I'll wear my MMA
And if it hurts, we'll have plenty of alcohol. It'll be fine.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Whoever's in pain will be fine.
It's not gonna be me.
I don't know.
I've had some pretty big bang ups wearing body armor, and
I understand that they're built for a gunshot, but it's different than a gunshot. This is.
It doesn't matter. Seth.
This is lightning and thunder.
Don't fight.
All right, I'm not gonna fight it. Yeah, you're right, Seth.
Have you ever been hit by a cannonball, Watson? Because that's what this bad baby has. His right hand.
Okay.
Coming, get into your body.
All right. Okay.
There's a combustion engine happening in my shoulder.
Combustion engine.
Sending this piston flying right into your stomach.
We'll see how that goes.
We will do this. Because now I really want to test myself against your military body armor. Do you really have it?
Yeah.
Do you have a helmet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, we'll talk.
Supposed to turn it back in?
Yeah.
I did turn. I turned something back in.
Well, you also got charged $300.
Yeah, I got charged. No, I was actually $500.
$500?
Yeah, because there was $200 late fee from the United
You
States
weren't
government.
going to pay, and they just started fucking... They started garnishing your wages or something?
Yeah, they were going to garnish my
Yeah,
wages.
yeah.
Because it was shit that was on a
manifesto.
Yeah, a roster that I had never received. But since I signed it, they could take it, and basically there was no fighting it.
Well, now I'm glad, because now we get some good comedic value out of it, you know?
Yeah, I turned... Basically, you have to turn one of the same item in, and I had a surplus one that I had, so I kept the one...
You really think I'm going to break my hand on your fucking body armor?
On my helmet, yeah, you will.
Maybe on your helmet, but your body armor?
You might break your wrist on the body armor from the punching.
You're only, what, 140 pounds?
Pounds? No, I'm 165.
165 pounds? I feel like you're going to fall back before I break my arm.
I think it's going to be... I'll fall back, but
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
We're going to be Facebook Live, people. So...
let's do it in GameStop.
Let's do it in
GameStop. That's because that's where we always go live, is GameStop. Which, by the way, fuck that GameStop.
Throwing some shit. Fuck that GameStop. I still have a Triss statue there I need to pick up.
You haven't got that yet?
No, because fuck them.
Forgot about it.
You piece of shit.
Someone probably bought it already. Pedro, what's your topic this week? You have a topic?
Yeah, I do have a topic. So, as you guys know, because you guys helped out, I was moving, and so we're going to talk about... It's like a multifaceted topic. First... We're going to throw some shade.
Throwing some shade.
I looked away, I had to jerk back real quick so I could just throw shade.
At the fucking coal region, because... What a fucking...
Except for the beautiful girl in the red truck.
Who might have been
the red Jeep. Whatever you were
Was she driving?
Yeah, she was at least 16.
At least 16.
But was it Suzuki?
No, it was a Toyota RAV4.
But anyway, because, you know, you guys met the legendary figure of that is my father.
He's
your father's
brilliant
awesome,
man. A beautiful, brilliant man.
I thoroughly enjoyed meeting your father. Like, so much.
He's got George Washington recruitment propaganda hung
Your dad was just so awesome, like a nice
downstairs furnished bar with a keg and a broadsword hanging on the beam. What?
Yeah.
Okay, because that keg... You know what the fuck's in that keg?
Michelob.
Michelob Ultra.
Who the fuck has a keg full of Michelob?
Your dad.
Beautiful, brilliant, genius father who is maybe the most interesting man alive.
I have never received a handshake that accented my hand in such a way as your father.
In such a way.
You guys are fucking terrible.
We're being the funniest thing is we're being serious. We fucking loved your dad.
Your dad is so fucking cool.
He really
He's
is.
so cool. He's like the anti-Pedro.
Like I wanted to help you. I wanted to help you and help you move, but like, and that in itself like was gratifying. I got to help my friend move, but getting to meet your father was like even
He's
more
from the
so.
fucking Bronx. He comes to the shittiest town in
He and
Pennsylvania.
I lived in the
s-
same city,
and he's
fucking
like,
San Antonio.
and he's like, oh, this is just like the Bronx. I can turn around. I'm like, I believe Pedro Senior,
He should run for local government.
local fucking mayor of, local senator of Pennsylvania.
Because if he tells that town it's gonna change, it better
It will
fucking.
fucking
Right,
change.
okay, because he's convinced himself that the fucking coal region will fucking
Yeah, I don't know.
change.
I don't know about that, but if he believes, I will believe too.
You know what the really sad part about Shamokin is, though, is that was once a booming town because of coal.
Yeah.
And that is a town that has been left behind.
Yeah.
In times.
Because like when
Progress
the
kept going.
Because
and
when
they're back
when
there.
your first thought of when you drive in the town is woof, like it's bad.
It's sad. It really is sad because like,
it is a physically depressed area. Remember that guy walking with his head down because he was so depressed?
well, it's like that is an industry that was prevalent.
Yeah.
And that whole town was built around the coal mine, right? My great grandfather died in the coal mine. He was buried alive.
Oh, fuck that.
They were slaves.
They were basically
Volunteer slaves,
Yeah.
but they were
My
slaves.
grandfather, my grandmother, my uncle, my aunt, they all grew up in Shamokin. But it's like time passed them by. You know,
Time moved on.
We moved on from coal, and that is a town that was left basically with nothing.
And that's all they know how to do. That's all
Because-
those lines of family, aside from you, like that's all they know how
Because
to do.
you know the cool part is that like my father's house, he still uses a coal stove,
Yeah.
and the coal heat is nice. It's nice and toasty.
And he probably gets it real cheap since the refinery.
But you know when you drive into that town, there's a big coal mountain and then like a graveyard right next to it from all the black lung disease.
oh shit!
Oh,
It didn't hit. It didn't hit.
You put your mouth on that fucking shaft, and yeah, there you go. But,
It didn't hit. Up! It's going in the hand.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, lick that bottle. Attaboy. But
I ain't no bitch.
but then like I don't know. Just every time I go to that town because I lived there while I was working at my previous employer, and I just every time I think of that town, I'm like what a fucking shithole.
It really is sad, though. Like, it really is sad. Like, those are the people that voted for Donald Trump because they're in such a shitty place and so depressed that, like,
They want to go back to what they had. What
they really
knew.
believed
They
that,
just wanna,
like,
bring back coal.
voting this man to presidency was going to change that and bring them jobs. And
no.
it's like, no, like, you guys were built around a failed concept.
Yeah.
It wasn't a failed concept, but it's something that we moved on from.
Outdated concept.
Yeah.
Right, and then it is really sad to see what goes on in that town, like all the drugs, all the crime. You know, because you look at that town. Oh, you can buy a house for about. You can buy like a 5-bedroom house by like.
Tell your
80
story.
grand.
You
I'm
got
telling
it.
My story. We're getting there. You can buy like a 5-bedroom house for like what $50,000 or whatever it is.
Probably.
But, yeah, but then like you'd live around a bunch of drug addicts. But moving on. So the transition part. So I now live in the land of the Little League.
South
Williamsport.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
You know, also, I'm surprised you didn't move to Lock Haven.
I didn't want to move to Lockhaven.
Why not?
I just didn't want to live in another college town.
That's
know.
true. I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, but you know, transitions in regards to like it's been a lot of change, a lot of rapid change in life. So it was one of those things like I haven't fully like gotten settled in yet. It really had like it's still weird driving to Williamsport instead of driving to Lewisburg. And then so I'm just wondering when do you think the sense of home sets in? Like what has to happen before it feels like home?
You have to decorate. That's
I
what
agree.
happens.
I agree.
Decoration.
I put up some amiibo. I put up, opened a couple action figures I had boxed for some reason. Put them on my TV stand. Felt like home immediately.
And then you know what's going to happen? You're going to have a drink there one night. You're going to be sitting there, maybe with a six-pack, maybe with a friend or something, and you're going to be like, I really truly think that it's not what you have and how much time you spent there and whatnot. It's the memories you have that make
And
things
the
seem
people
like
you surround yourself with.
Because this also happened. I got a Super Nintendo Classic given to me. Like I paid for it, but it was like somebody had gotten it for me. Like as a housewarming, like, yo, here you go, dude. I saved you one of these. So I was able to get one the day they came out. And today, before I came over, my roommate and his girlfriend and her friend was over. We had friends over, and we're sitting in my living room TV with that living room TV that we fucking went through hell to get. And, you know, we're all playing Super Nintendo. Like, they're playing Secret of Mana. We're just all chilling in the living room eating cake. It was a good time before I came up here. And it was like, you know what? It's starting to feel like home.
Yeah.
So, you know, first good memory in the place.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's one of those things, like, it's starting to feel that way, but, you know, not quite there yet.
So, like, this is something I never told you. When I first moved in here, it didn't feel like home for a long time. And I think that was probably because I didn't have a whole lot of happy memories when I first moved in here because I was so fucking depressed for the first few months. I was so in such a bad place. And it took a long time for it to happen. Like, now, I'm so chill here.
Yeah.
With fucking Watson, this beautiful son of a bitch, and his curly locks.
It's not as soft as his, so I'm sorry.
I showed my dick to him earlier. He loved
You showed
it.
me your dick earlier, too. It's cool.
Well, that was a few weeks ago.
It does. I looked right up the stairs, and there it was.
Pretty small. Huh?
He's still, like I said, I've been well complimented on my.
I wasn't
senile
impressed.
aging. Well, I'm a grower, not a shower. I'm a grower, not a shower. It's the way us white guys are.
Most of our.
Pedro would understand. Pedro would
Not
understand.
even sure what that means.
Pedro, I have heard, been referred to as the REO meat wagon.
No, but I really truly think it is the memories that you build in a place.
Yeah.
Like I think your childhood home is always gonna feel like home, no matter where you go in life. You know, like my dad's house is always gonna feel like home to me. But you know, and to be honest, I realized this when I moved in with my last girlfriend, and that place immediately felt like home because
Who you had surrounded yourself with.
I'd surrounded myself with someone that I was completely head over heels with. We were super happy at the time.
Yeah.
I moved in and everything was great, and that place felt like my home. You know, despite
Meth lab below you and everything.
Meth lab below
you.
Oh, there totally was, too.
Sweet.
there literally was despite all the shit that happened between me and her, like that place felt like home to me, and it was really hard to separate myself from that when the time came. But like, I really think it is the emotions you come in with and the people you surround yourself with. But yeah, I think that's what actually matters when it comes to like feeling like a home. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Because it's weird, because like when I think of my sense of home, like where I consider home, it's not New York, even though I'm from New York.
Yeah.
But it's Lewisburg in regard, not my apartment that I was living in. It was when I lived on the penitentiary grounds with my father. Like every time I drive onto that prison grounds, like as weird as it sounds, like it's fucking that house we lived on the grounds is like that's home. Like I lived there, you know, moved there when I was 13, 14 years old, and that will always feel like home.
Childhood's such a magical time because no matter where you go, I feel like you're always gonna, no matter like where you are in life, when you go someplace you spend a lot of time in as a child, you're always gonna feel something about that place because as a child, like you didn't know what a fucking hard life was.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't know the shit that was coming your way. You were just fucking trying to go out and you were looking forward to the next time you were having fun out of school, having friends. Like I'll drive around Jersey Shore and I'll be like, oh, I remember when me and Alex rode down this hill together. I'll remember when, like, you know, like I went out and explored this fucking sewer drain and like.
If those little bastards knew what was coming to them, they'd walk out in front of the school bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly. Because then you get to adulthood and like you work a full-time job. You have no time to hang out with your friends. Everyone gets fucking married.
Except for me, you, Robert, and Watson. Like we always seem to have a ton of time to hang out with each
because we're
other.
losers.
Fair enough.
No, but it's one of those things like, you know, people start, you know, moving on and you get less and less time with your friends. You feel like it, like, you know, we only get a finite amount of time together. It's weird that, like...
You know what I actually think it is, Pedro, though? And it's interesting you bring that up. I'm not trying to cut you off. It's that I think you make less time for your friends.
I think so, too.
It's not that you have less time.
You want more time for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when we were in school, we were 8 hours in school. We were still trying to sleep and whatnot. Like, we basically had a full-time job with school, but you still need time with your friends after school and whatnot. And I think what happens is eventually when you grow up, you want more time for yourself.
Yeah.
You want to relax. You want to sit home and watch Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't make as much time to go have fun with your friends.
Yeah. Because you do have time. You always have time.
You do have time. Like
yeah.
like Robert. It was nice. Robert hit me up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm probably doing nothing. And we're probably gonna hang out tomorrow." Fuck Watson. I don't want to hang out with this motherfucker. You know, he's like.
Well, you just live together. You're like
A
essentially
curly headed
Yeah.
fuck.
You'd actually be surprised we don't hang out that much.
Well,
It's
We
just-
really don't.
No, because I did have a place with my best friend who moved to Florida, and there would be days we wouldn't see each other, but there would be days like we would just chill in the living room, hang out.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
that. We
Yeah.
do.
But you know what I mean? Like it was like we didn't get that much time to go do stuff.
It is interesting because I feel like now me and Watson are living together. We don't go and do anything anymore.
Because you're always together. Though.
Yeah, we don't go to the bar really much anymore. But we still chill.
This is our bar, really, though.
Yeah.
We're always drinking together.
Yeah. Right.
This man's turning into a fucking alcoholic. I didn't heavily drink until I met this man.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know me and my best friend Matt, when we were living together, we would hang out, but we would sometimes go do stuff, but other times we wouldn't. But then we'd go on big trips together. We'd go to sporting events a lot. That was our thing. And then once he moved to Florida, there was that big just void. It was gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I don't know. It's just, and now I'm fucking depressed.
Yeah.
That made me sad, Pedro.
Good. Fucking good.
I'm sorry that your friend Matt went to Florida and left you
it's
alone.
Okay.
He moved to Florida, got engaged. Jess, you won the war. Congratulations.
I had a friend that he's my oldest friend. He's my friend I've known for the longest time, my entire life. I've known him since I was basically born. And for a few years, he went to New York, and he just disappeared out of my life. He met a girl in New York. He had a bad home situation, and he moved on. He went to moving in with his friend in New York, and good for him because at home it was not good for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was really fucking sad when he left. I was like, fuck. But it is what it is.
Well, because sometimes people do move on and it sucks, but then that gives you opportunity. A lot of the reason me moving from Lewisburg was to get the fuck out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my comfort zone.
And you needed that, honestly. You did need that.
100%.
I think you're gonna find yourself very happy.
Well, my thing is even I feel it myself. I'm a lot happier. I look forward to going and doing shit. It's just one of those things. You just that change. My brain stopped filtering out the shit I wasn't noticing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more aware of everything. And
yeah.
so I've been making more time for myself too. This weekend, I just hung out with friends and just went for a walk into the city. It's a good time. Good time.
Williamsport is a nice city if you know where to
If you
go.
avoid the fucking post office. Good God, is that in a shit?
If you avoid
Memorial Ave.
Memorial Ave.
Oh boy.
And the shitty thing is that
It'll turn into a shithole quick though.
there's a really nice park at the very end of South Williamsport.
I heard.
I don't know if you know this or not. Hey, there's not your father's vanilla. What is that?
Not your father's
Vanilla ale. Vanilla cream ale.
ale. Are we still recording?
Yeah, no, we're recording. We're having a good show. I feel like we're.
I think it's a good show. We're drunk, but not too drunk.
I'm a little tipsy.
Yeah, but
loving
you know what I'm referring to.
I'm loving it.
Fucking.
It's good. It's good.
My cat's down here.
No, you can't.
Pick up the bottle caps. For God's sakes, the cat's down here.
Where's Chrono? No.
Dude, you got some Hobbit feet. I like it.
Do I have some hobbit feet?
Yeah.
I got some hair on my feet.
He's got Hobbit feet.
I was told by the girl I went out with last Wednesday that she had great facial hair.
Outstanding.
Are you still thinking about shaving it? Or?
No, not shave it.
No, not anymore, sir. Not anymore.
He came down one day and saying, "It's hey, that's part of this show. We all have facial hair, and it's got to stay that way."
I've had facial hair since I was 20.
Okay, because gentlemen, we're heading towards the winter, so we need beards.
And the goatee's going away. You notice how I'm letting that fill back in because it is
because winter's beard season.
Winter is coming, gentlemen.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know, I grow a pretty mean beard in the fucking winter.
I feel like it's gonna be a rough winter this year. I do
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
that coming.
Yeah.
I love the winter.
I love the winter too, but
I don't like the bills that come with the winter on heating.
Oh man, my heat's included.
it'll be a lot easier this year though, because I'll be with you.
Yeah. it
My
will
heat's
be
included, and we got that radiator heat.
You don't understand. When I lived alone here, it was emptying that coin jar that I went down. I was gotta pay for heat. Gotta pay for heat. Pipes can't freeze. Pipes can't freeze.
Oh yeah, that'd suck. I've had that happen.
I've had the Eden Pure hooked up.
When I lived in New Berlin, Pennsylvania, that fucking wonderful shithole.
What the fuck is New Berlin?
It
Sounds like a whole lot of Sieg Heil.
I've lived here my whole life. I've never heard of a place called New Berlin.
New Berlin, Pennsylvania. It's right between Mifflinburg and Winfield.
Is it literally called New Berlin?
Yeah, we driven by it. It's on 15.
It's right off 15.
Berlin.
Right off 15.
Is there an exit?
You
have to go out
next time.
You have to go out of your way to get there, but you drive through it and not notice.
Oh, by the way, that girl from Lewisburg broke my heart. Just letting everyone, the viewers know at home. The
Girl from Lewisburg who broke Seth's heart, fuck you. I know your name, but I'm not going to say it. Or should I say it?
No, don't say it.
Okay.
But
I will
someday when I'm fucking rich and famous from this podcast.
Does she watch this show?
Nah.
All right, well, in 9 months, she's going to be having a pretty shitty surprise. So fuck you. Not your problem. Not you. What?
It's called a pregnancy, Seth. Do the math.
No, I know. I'm just trying to understand the joke because...
Pretty nasty surprise.
Because she's not going to have any help because you're not there. But it's not your responsibility because it wasn't your...
I hope that shit's not instant. That
I
child's
wish I...
Did you put that baby in there?
No, I didn't.
You better not have.
Wish. Kind of, but...
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Don't wish that on yourself. You're too young for a child. Stop that.
You're too young to accidentally have a child.
I almost came close to having a child one time. We'll talk about that another time.
No, talk about it. No, that's not.
Maybe some other time.
I was there for that.
Watson was there for that.
Why was I wasn't there.
Through your darkest time. Why was there only one track of footprints in the sand?
Why?
Because I carried you, brother.
I love that quote.
Are you glad we're doing this show now, Seth?
I'm so glad we're doing this show. And honestly, you know what it was? I didn't want to clean off the table. And I knew I had to. To clean off the table. And I was like, fuck. I don't want to clean off the table.
I cleaned some of it off. I got the computer and shit.
I cleaned nothing.
And then I made my popcorn.
I
Oh no, you are a fucking dickhead cat. What do you knock off?
probably your gun cleaning fluid that was there, no?
I didn't have gun cleaning fluid.
I just assume
It sounded like it came from High Pedro, honestly.
No, it was right there.
Quiet! Heart.
Cat named after a video game character. How dare you act irrationally?
Yeah, all I did was sit my ass down and eat a
Master
steak
Chief.
and record a podcast. It's good night.
Yeah.
This is a good night. I love recording these podcasts. And
How's
I just don't like the setup.
No.
If we had a soundboard that I had constantly hooked up and I just put behind the monitors over there and then pull out with the mics, it'd be a different story.
Maybe some anybody want to put up in the comments about any ideas for like a backdrop or what you want to see in the background, or if you want us to constantly change it, or we've talked about this about doing separate shows like with themes, like wearing a certain theme for that, just kind of.
I almost don't want this podcast to end. I don't. We've done 3 topics, but we're only at an hour and 10. We don't have to end it, gentlemen. We don't have to.
Let's throw another good topic out there. What
I gotta kill writing down here.
The topic of me going to take a piss.
Go take a piss because I just did.
Steroids.
No dick pics on my phone, boys. Not, but I encourage you to do so. But no, don't do it.
I got steroids here. I got John Jones, the biggest fuck up in UFC history.
I don't want to talk about him tonight.
You don't talk about him.
No, I think that'll slow this one down.
Sports brain trauma.
Nope.
Video games, like a general topic of what video games mean to us. The PewDiePie drama, which you probably don't know about. Alright.
Let's do video games.
Alright, let's do video games. Because actually, I wrote this down because of you, buddy.
What's that?
I wrote this down because of you. Video games.
Oh. Why? I'm about to find out?
Yeah, you're about to find out.
Alright.
I like how you know me enough to know that I wasn't going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell you.
This is a good podcast.
It is a good podcast.
I'm glad whoever's watching could tune in with us because we're having a blast. I know usually after a long weekend with our schedule, we work all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this is our day off to unwind, and we spend it with Pedro here, and we drink some beers and talk about shit that we're all thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's a good unwinding time.
But you know what? Like, we haven't recorded it in 2 weeks either, so like
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So hang on, back to the first topic. What about the people who curl their toes as they're finishing?
That's girls mostly.
I've heard guys do it too, though.
I've never noticed my toes when I'm...
Comment below, do you curl your toes when you finish?
I'm gonna have to pay attention.
I've never paid attention.
I
might curl my toes when I explode.
You know
my
what?
semen.
Maybe I do.
I feel like a lot of muscles in my body tense up.
Yeah, I bet I curl my toes.
But do you do it enough times where you really have that good one? That good one.
Usually I gotta save up for a couple
That
days.
good
before I
wank,
have-
you know?
If I do it every day or like twice a
Don't
day
do it
sometimes.
every day. You'll chafe your dick. Don't do that.
What's the most you've ever done in a day?
3. What?
The most you've ever jerked off is 3 times a day.
That shit starts hurting after a while, dude.
I've had sex 4 times in a day.
That's not the same as jerking off.
No, it's not the same as jerking off, but like I feel like
This is a story that he knows about. We used to have competitions in the military who could get off the most in a day.
Dude, it starts hurting after a while.
My record's 17.
You were shooting blanks after. Were you?
No, I wasn't.
Wow.
bullshit.
I didn't win. I didn't come close to winning.
Did it start? It had to hurt after.
Oh my god! It hurt after like the
In a
fifth one.
24-hour period? Was it 24 hours?
Not even 24 hours. It was like.
Or was it like when you wake up, like, oh.
It was like when I woke up till when I went to bed. It was the winner took it 32.
That doesn't even sound fun.
There's
Hell,
no
it
way
wasn't fun. It wasn't.
There's no
enjoyable.
way you weren't shooting blanks after number 4.
Just a little. They're not.
Because
It's not full, but there's still stuff.
Because like
coming
you can
out.
do it and then go eat a sandwich and then have some more ammo. But then,
Yeah.
like because food does.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I gotta ask you, gentlemen.
What's the most you've done today? You
I had sex or jerked off?
Jerked
jerked
off.
off.
Dude, when I was like
You can do sex multiple times in a day and be fine.
Yeah.
When I was like 13, 14 and first discovering
There you go.
the act of orgasms, baby Seth was sitting in his bed just jerking it nonstop. Like I was like, what is this feeling that I'm
Yeah.
getting?
That shit starts hurting.
Oh yeah. It
I
did.
remember watching Family Guy just being like, what is this? Give me more!
What the fuck? Pedro's
like not like Family Guy was arousing me, but like
sure?
just like laying in watching
Meg.
adults swim, like just being like, what is happening? Like after I touch my dick enough, what is happening?
What's this feeling?
Yeah, what is this feeling? Like, give me more of it.
When was the first time you tried it?
I was playing Pokemon Coliseum. I was 11 years old. No, that wasn't the first time I tried it, of course, but like that was the first time it ever happened.
When was the first time you were successful?
I was playing Pokemon Coliseum when I was 11 years old.
Why were you?
It was more like one of those times where you got distracted and you were like on a screen.
You started jerking off.
And originally, I want you to know this. I want you guys to know this. Originally, when I started jerking off, I did it like this. With my fingertips downward.
Doing the praying mantis.
Praying mantis.
I was
Dick
like,
jerk.
because I had no idea what was going on. All I
Did you
knew-
like make weird tribal noises like waka 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 waka?
Also,
Like you're fucking playing Pac-Man?
I was maybe like 10. I don't know. I was really young because like
I was much later than that.
I was really young because like I discovered that if I went like this with my dick enough, like eventually I got this fantastic feeling, and I was like,
This feels great.
wow, this is amazing.
Awesome.
And then eventually, like I was so young that like no cum even came out.
Yeah, you get that orgasm and nothing
I was like,
happens.
wow, this is great. I'm just gonna do this all the time.
And then
Sitting in math class.
okay, because this ties me into a story because like the first time I did it, I was like 12 or some shit. But when I went to college, I had pledged a fraternity. I had these motherfuckers convinced that I didn't jerk off. Convinced.
I had my high school girlfriend convinced I look at porn. Continue.
Because I remember the one time somebody went on my computer and my last visited website was like Pornhub or some shit. They're like, I thought you didn't jerk off. I didn't. I let my roommate my computer.
I didn't jerk off. I just look at it. That's how powerful I am.
Willpower.
Eli, if you're watching this, you're a fucking idiot.
Of course this man jerked off. He's Puerto Rican. Come on.
That has nothing to do with it.
That has everything to do with it, Pedro.
Yeah, that guy that got 32.
When was the first time you jerked off?
Yeah, fucker.
Oh. I was either 14 or 15, to be honest with you.
That's
Oh
late.
my
That's
God.
late.
Yeah,
You were a
yeah.
late bloomer.
It was really late, and I remember like,
Sometimes you never get the idea to try it.
yeah, that was it. Like, I woke up. I think
You know what was for me?
What?
Porn.
Mine was American Pie.
you see, I watched porn before I ever learned to jerk off.
I looked at porn and I was like, wow, I wonder what
What's
this
this-
feels like. So I was like trying to like, go
different
go
grips.
town, and I was like, this feels pretty
And
good.
you got
I was like,
you landed on the fucking octopus. I'm gonna try the octopus on this shit.
and it was I started trying it. And it was like vinegar face. I was like,
because like I remember when I was like 9 or 10, I remember like you remember like when the first time you watched American Pie, right?
Oh,
and like where the fucking
do I ever?
where dude is like she's feeling up his pants, and like he fucking
that twitch that.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And then I realized he's like, oh.
By the way, American Pie is one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
You ever watch it like when you're at?
Watson didn't like them.
Really?
They were okay, but I don't think they were.
American Pie 2,
The thing with American Pie is that
American Wedding, American Pie Beta House.
The thing with
Beta House sucked.
Beta House did suck.
Beta House was the reason I pledged this fraternity. I
reason-
thought it'd be just like that.
The reason American Pie is great is because it's so accurate to the
Oh, it
lives.
is.
Yeah.
The American Pie and Superbad are both amazing for the same reasons.
Well, hang on. For our team, like that for us.
Yeah, things have changed.
For you new motherfuckers, I don't know, y'all are on fleek or whatever the fuck y'all do, but like
on the fleek. I think it might be on the fleek.
On the fleek. I don't know what the fuck these kids say these days.
Fire?
Fire?
Because we
Straight fire.
didn't do that shit. Like,
things made sense when we were going through our teenage years.
Yeah, like things just made sense. Like, and
nowadays you're wearing fucking frog hats and suspenders,
all sorts of stupid shit
and weird shit. We're like, what the fuck?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck
when we were teenagers, all you did was wear that like American.
Well, but when I watch American Pie or watch Superbad, it gives me instant nostalgia because I'm like, that is exactly the lengths men will go to in high school to get laid.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would have gone to no end in high school if a girl was like, hey, well, I'll have sex with you if you give me alcohol. You better believe I would have robbed a fucking liquor store. I would have like, the Bro Bible just fell. Good job, Pedro. The Bro Bible just fell.
That's cool. I'm glad all this vape juice wasn't behind it. Oh wait.
Austin's vape pen.
Are you using my vape? You
Fuckers. Like the fucking.
Yeah, enjoy that. I had bronchitis.
Because you remember what the fuck was it? Was it American Pie Beta House? Where like you remember when you were a high school kid, like banging a college girl was like the fucking dream. The fucking gold standard.
See, I was in a relationship at the time.
You see, you in these goddamn relationships, Seth.
These goddamn relationships.
Because this ties me into another story. I don't even know what the fuck we're even. What was our topic?
Video games.
We never really got started.
We didn't get there yet.
Okay. Because I remember the first time I visited my best friend Adam in college, and I'm pretty sure I think he was a freshman, and I was a senior in high school, and I remember visited Moravian College, and the amount of girls that we just saw, and we were just like, this is heaven.
Do you remember that girl I fucked me in Lewisburg the other week?
She's a Bucknell student.
Yeah. Speaking of those movies, I find a good one to kind of relate with today. Not Ocean's 11, God. 21 Jump Street.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah, I don't know why I got that in my head.
We're gonna go rob a fucking bank.
21 Jump Street, when they're walking back into the school, and he's like, what the fuck are those things? That's how I feel when I see kids out walking in the street, like middle school, high school kids, like you can always spot the goths or whatever septa. Everyone fit into their own little niche.
We were at the later end of that. Though,
are the goths the thing anymore?
But we were still there. I think they might be extinct now.
I think those are just emo kids. Is emo kids still a thing?
I don't know.
They have so many weird things.
Hipsters now.
Maybe.
But we see them as hipsters. They see themselves as all these little fucking saps.
Because I've seen like hipsters our age. Like I think we started the hipsters.
I think we did too. Pedro.
And I also
we've got to go back.
I also secretly think we're guilty of the man bun. I think that's us.
I think we are too, Pedro. I think we need to go back and change things.
we done fucked up.
Our generation did it.
Oh my god.
No, but let's talk. Okay, first off, let's cut this off right now. We'll talk about high school. We were talking about high school.
We did. Yes.
Let's talk about video games because I want to talk about not about specific video games, but I want to talk about what video games in general mean to us. Because me and Pedro, we bonded over video games. We worked at a video game retail store, which should have been the coolest place on earth. I'm not gonna talk shit up because Pedro's friends with the owner. But we bonded over video games. Me and Pedro bonded over video games.
What the fuck?
Just throw it over there and just get rid of it.
Christ.
But actually, what I think is going to happen here is I think video games mean more to Watson than anyone at this table.
Really?
I really, truly do believe that.
Watson, you have the floor.
I really believe that what video games mean to us, because this motherfucker was in Kuwait he bought a gaming laptop. Like, that's all he had.
Okay.
Yeah, that I never thought of it that way. Okay. But in a large part, that is what got me through the wait of coming to get home. Because I forget what I logged on Skyrim. I had just shy of 1,000 hours on Skyrim.
Right.
And I found everything in that fucking game. I learned console commands. And he can tell you I'm not very good with computers, but I learned how to do a lot of shit for that game. And it was just like when I had a bad day, or it's like, you know, no letters from home, or you're just in a depressed funk where it's like, I don't want to be here. I just want to go the fuck home. It's like I would get on to the laptop and I'd start playing a game. Or we'd go over we had a tent that we had PS4s at. Yeah. That we'd all our PS3, excuse me, yes. And we'd all get together and play these games, like all our buddies, and it just kind of made you forget where you were for a while. I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
Because that kind of ties into me, like video games 100% have like saved my career. In regards to
unwinding after work.
Yeah, unwinding, you know, because in my line of work, like a lot of people either turn to the bottle or turn to these self-destructive habits to help them process a lot of the things they deal with, a lot of trauma, a lot of violence, you know, a lot of fucked up shit. So for me, like, even as a kid, video games always helped me take my mind off of whatever was going on in my life. Like me, you know, growing up, my father was away in the military for a while. He was in Korea and all over the world, and so, you know, I lived in like a small apartment with my grandmother, and we were fucking poor. But like, when you get that first video game, like, you would say you'd have a bad day at school, you'd go home, and now you were Link, you were saving the princess, or you know, there was a time where, I don't want to get into the details, but I ended up in foster care 3 or 4 times, and through that time I remember having like a Game Boy and playing like, you know, Oracle Ages and things of that stuff, so it would take my mind off of, you know, what was going on. And then I remember through a specifically tough time in my life where the woman who raised me, my great-grandmother, had died. I was like 16 or 17, and one of the games that I had played as a kid, for some reason I'd come across it again, but it was Final Fantasy IX. And that game, and, you know, the themes of, like, you know, finding yourself as a person, who you really are, and even the one character, the black mage, who comes with the terms where he only has a year to live, and he has to, like, you know, really come to peace with how that he is going to die, and making the time that he does have really last. And like, stuff like that really just helped me through a dark time. So like for me, video games, I equate video games to books for me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're like interactive books. Like, I like being told a story. I like going off and getting lost in a world. So I'd rather sit there and play like Final Fantasy or something for like 40 hours and sit and drink 80 beers or whatever it is, or a case of beer a night, and, you know, live like that. So for me, video games have done so much to keep me sane and save my career.
Yeah, no, I'm very much like you, Pedro, where there's very specific things I can remember the video games have got me lost in a world where I could just forget the things that are going on with me. Chrono Cross, one of my favorite games of all time. Parents getting divorced. Yeah, the first time we did with my dad. Mm-hmm. Kingdom Hearts 2. I beat that game because I was pretty much forced to with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2, beat that game, and then broke it with a Game Shark.
Yeah.
And just found all these codes and broke that game, and like getting all these like glitches going in, like summoning like bosses to fight me anywhere, and getting all these people at my party, and going to like these unfinished areas that were in development process, and like doing all this shit. And then like I don't know, just whenever I'm depressed, like the thing is like sometimes you don't want to play video games when you're feeling down, right? But I always find that like if I have a game with like a really good story that pulls you in, it always makes me feel better, because I can get lost in that world for a little bit and feel good about myself. And I don't know, The Witcher did that for me, definitely. I put in 300 hours into that game, and a lot of other games, have always helped me. Like, I remember Fable 3 specifically, even though it's a fucking terrible game.
Yeah.
Fable 3 helped me out a lot through a really shitty time, and
right. But there's those certain games that you just attach to. Like,
absolutely.
Anytime like I am going through a rough time, I will always go back to Final Fantasy, and just because even the music like just reminds me of when I was a kid. Like it just kind of reminds me of better times, I guess. And
absolutely.
So like even like I remember the overworld theme like almost it like not brings me to tears, but like gets me really in my feels, I guess.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's just like it. Because I remember when I got that game for Christmas. I remember my grandmother didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
And she somehow understood that, like, I would like this game. And, like, I remember unwrapping that game on Christmas and being like, how did you know?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, like, I always have that special attachment to that.
You
like,
still have it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm the same with Chrono Cross, I met one of the best relationships I had in my life over Chrono Cross, and then I had, it helped me through a dark time in my life with Chrono Cross, and I'm so attached to Chrono Cross that I'll go back and play it yearly, and it's just like, that is a game that is so special to me in my heart, that like, I was walking on the lake the other day, just because I go for walks late at night, sometimes when I'm bored.
You're just listening to the soundtrack?
Yeah, I'll listen to the soundtrack, and that soundtrack of that game is so fucking good. That's what everybody remembers about Chrono Cross, like the soundtrack.
I'm gonna have to play this game sometime.
If you like this old like PS1 games, like you'll love it.
Legend of Dragoon.
It's got a very simple. I would say simple, but
shit.
it's got a very classic RPG feel to it, like turn-based, and like there's a lot of like, oh, he might do this, so I gotta prepare for this type of thing going on. But
strategy, or as George Bush would say, strategery.
Yeah, there's a couple other games too, but there are certain games that you can't play when you're in a bad space. Persona games, anything SMT, no.
Oh god,
no. But other games too that kind of like shaped me as a person. Me and Watson have talked about this, but Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, okay.
Because like some of the shit they talk about in that game, in regards to like the digital age and the control,
it's fucking deep.
It's fucked. Like if you
there's rabbit holes you go down on Reddit and got shit.
Yeah, if you would play Metal Gear Solid 2 today, you'd be like, how the fuck did he even
know? Did they know?
Yeah. Because like they talk about things like, control of information, almost like in a brainwash.
The Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Like verbatim the Patriot Act.
Right, and then just like, conditioning people to think this way, or like things going on behind the scenes, and like I just love that game because there is so much going on there. It's and that game kind of like, I remember when I was playing it, I'm like, video games are fucking art, man. Like,
yeah.
Because like I equate playing that game to like the first time I watched like Pulp Fiction. Like it was just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Never seen Pulp Fiction.
You're a piece of shit.
You've
said that to me like 5 times in the last 3 minutes, but okay.
You're a son of a bitch.
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
What the? Oh.
Pedro, we need to have like a movie dinner.
We do need to have a bro night because I always say we aren't officially bros until we've watched Highlander, Roadhouse, and Pulp Fiction together.
Oh, okay. Well,
Roadhouse is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Patrick Swayze,
Sam
Elliott.
Roadhouse.
Little peace ways in your life.
I love Peace Ways.
Highlander's a great movie too.
I've never seen Highlander.
Dude, the soundtrack to that movie is epic. It's all done by Queen. It is all Queen.
There can only be one.
All I know of that is Monsieur Bobby. I watched the Highlander movie. It was shit.
You have to watch Highlander, dude. It's incredible.
Sean Connery.
Peace Ways.
Oh, it's Patrick Swayze in that.
Yeah.
And the entire soundtrack.
I'm a sucker for Patrick Swayze.
And the entire soundtrack, Queen.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Video games are so crazy to me because like they still haven't been completely accepted by the mainstream.
No.
Where like you can watch a movie, you can watch TV, you can read a book. Everything's like accepted. But video games are like, if you tell a girl,
it's still new.
If you tell a girl like you play video games, like especially in your early 20s, like there's a good chance that like you might get rejected. But it is what it is, man. Like I saw Pedro was wearing a Letty shirt. I don't know what Letty means, but it's a funny last name. What? Letty? It's a funny last name. Pedro's taking a PV. I was about to wrap this show up. I don't know. Good bad time to take a pee.
Thanks, Pedro.
How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah, I got a pee too.
His story kind of depressed me.
Yeah, it was a little sad. A little sad. And I feel a little bad about myself.
I know, so do I. Way to ruin how I feel. No, I never really thought about that, though, for video games, on how big a part that played in my life. That was an interesting turn you took with that. Because as I was talking about that, I started thinking, I was like, would I have made it through that year without that to do? Because there were nights if electricity went out or something, where my laptop, I used it so much and had it plugged in a lot, my battery dies pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I remember just having a dead battery and sitting in the dark, like going nuts. Like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it 6 more months to get out of here. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And then I get electricity back and I start playing my game. And it's kind of like anytime we play a game, he makes fun of me. I like to have a game where I can make my own character and kind of write myself into the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially why I do that, is because with Skyrim in particular, when I was deployed, I could write myself into that game, and I was living through that.
Yeah.
That was where I was. I wasn't in the fucking ass crack of the world. I wasn't in the middle of the desert. I was in, this fantasy land.
Right, because it ties into that escapism. Especially when you play these.
It's a dopamine release, just like using drugs.
Right, you play these RPGs, and you're the hero, or you're the guy on this epic quest. You're not fucking fat dude from Central Pennsylvania. So it's just one of those things. Like, I think it's a very healthy escapism, but there is that other side. Yeah, there's that line to it, because a
lot of guys do cross that line.
Yeah, some guys do cross. We do know a couple, but so where is that line for certain people? Like,
it varies for everyone. I think.
For me, like, there'll never be a day in my life that like video games will take precedent over, like, say, going to work, or like paying my bills, or seeing my friends, or like, I'll never blow off my friends to go, oh, I just want to sit at home and play fucking this. Like, no.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of that culture that kind of gets that stigma to video games. Oh, you play video games, what are you, some kind of booger eater who fucking lives in mom's basement?
I've never had
stay in mom's basement.
I've never met a girl that was like, oh, you play video game? I take that back. I have met one girl that has been like that. Most girls I've dated or I've seen have always been like super chill about it, because like, I'm not like that. I'm not that person that's gonna blow off work, or I'll take, if I have a day I can take off when new games release, I'll do it.
I took 3 days off for Final Fantasy 15, but that was PTO.
Yeah, like you save that up. Like, it's different, and like you're not sitting at home in your basement like just chilling, like doing nothing with your life.
Yeah.
You're going out, you're working, you're but there is guys that, like, I see them on Reddit all the time, where like they'll do nothing but sit at home and
the stereotype, fell in that stereotype.
Yeah, and it's just like you can't live like that,
Right, because because the beautiful thing about video games, and the beautiful thing about video games, and especially like I used to play online games as a kid, or as a teenager, I guess, a fair amount. And I remember playing the first Modern Warfare. There was this clan I was a part of. We used to do the clan battles and everything. And I never really partook in this, because I always thought it was weird. But a lot of these guys every year would get together. They'd meet the one clan leader in Illinois, and like they would just about everyone from our clan would go to this barbecue every year. And it was like family. I remember them always saying that. It was like a big family gathering. And I remember the first time they had met, saying it was a little awkward at first, but then once people started like, oh, I'm this tag, and like you associate, oh, that's this person I've had this laugh with, or I've shared this experience with. I think they still do it to this day. But
I understand.
It's one of those things, like they had formed like such camaraderie, and I always kind of regret never actually going, but like at the time I was like 15, 16, so a little weird.
Yeah.
But, like, but because some of them were grown men, other guys were, I think, guys my age, but
turns out it's just man blah.
But yeah, it was one of those things I always thought was kind of cool. And then I remember even when I was working at my previous employer, a lot of the staff after shift, we'd have a hard fucking day, like, yo, let's go home and let's go do the raid on Destiny. Let's go we'd do stuff and like it'd bring you together, even though despite or like we had a Madden league with all the staff, and like you'd have those memories with that, and like it'd bring everyone so much closer together, despite you guys never actually being in the same room. Like you guys always share that.
I totally understand that.
So I think you're good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I do.
All right, gentlemen, it's time to wrap this bad boy up. Thank you for joining us.
Is there any more before we close? Is there any more shade to throw?
I think we've thrown a lot of shade.
We've thrown a lot of shade.
Shade.
We've had a lot of fun with that tonight.
No, I don't think so.
All right, I'm all shaded out.
Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Yeah, this was a good time.
I've had a great time.
Indeed, so have we.
And
How fucking long is the show?
Almost 2 hours.
Fucking A.
146. In closing, if you have any topics you'd like us to talk about, please leave them in the comments section on whatever platform you're listening on. We love that. We love to answer questions, anything you guys want.
Also, I'm not Iranian. I'm Puerto Rican.
He's Puerto Rican, not Iranian. I have to introduce you to him. He's a good dude. But, thanks for tuning in with us.
And you're welcome.
Until next time, guys. You're welcome.
I know what you're gonna say. Keep on gaming. You piece of shit.
I'm not a piece of shit.
That was a fun podcast.